In this video, we're making a simple sliding knot bracelet with a square knot closure. This design has the square knots in the middle there. Each cord slides through inside the square knot so that you can adjust the size of your bracelet. We've used some cute metal beads today, and we love this design because it's super easy to pop on and off with one hand. We're using 2mm satin nylon cord today. The first length we need is about 50 centimeters for the bracelet portion of our design. I just singed the ends of my thread as well so it doesn't fray. Whatever beads you use, you need to make sure they've got a big enough hole to fit onto the thread. So mine's a 2mm thread. I've got some metal beads here with a 2mm hole, and I'm sure you know how to place your beads onto the thread. So I'm just going to skip this part ahead, and I've beaded up to about 16 centimeters, which is my wrist measurement. So you can just check it on your wrist as well. You want it to go right around, sort of touching quite close, and then we're going to put the clasp in, which is going to give it a little bit more space. Now we want our beads to be in the center of our cord. So place the ends of your cord together and follow it back down so that you can pull these beads into the center. Now we grab that point just on the side of the beads there and tie a first little overhand knot. Now we should be able to swap onto the other side and tie a little overhand knot on this side as well, pulling that up against the beads. And your beads should be nice and secure in that middle section now. Now we can move on to the square knot closure on our bracelet. So I find it's easiest to lay it down with the cords overlapping on the right hand side. Now we need some more cord to make our square knots, so about another 30 centimeters of our 2mm satin nylon cord. We start by bringing this piece underneath the cords where they overlap. Now we bring this left side around and over top of the other cords, making a little loop there. And with the right side, we bring that down over that other cord, but then gently pass it underneath and bring it up that loop on the left hand side, pulling the ends nice and tight. Now we start on the opposite side. So the right cord, we bring that around and over top, and the left cord comes down over and then underneath to come up that loop on the right hand side, pulling our ends nice and tight. And now it's back to the left side again. So left side around, right side comes down over and then underneath to come up that loop on the left hand side, pulling our threads nice and tight. And now bringing the right side around, and the left side comes down over and then under to come up the loop on the opposite side, pulling that square knot nice and tight. Now you should have a nice tidy flat square knot. It's up to you how many stitches you do, so how long you want your little square knots to be. Depends on how much thread you've got here as well. And you can pull your sliding knot bracelet together to see how it's looking, and then decide if you want to do any more stitches on your square knot closure. Just make sure you're using the threads from the square knot closure and not from the bracelet. I'm just going to pop one more stitch on mine, and that's 5 stitches in total. Pulling that nice and tight. Once you're happy with it, you can cut your little threads short on your square knot and then gently melt the ends with a flame. You do need to be really careful though that you're just melting the end and fusing that on so that it doesn't affect the sliding of your bracelet. I gently melt my ends and then tap it on the edge just to fuse it all together. Now if your bracelet's all sliding okay and you're happy with it, then we're going to pop some little stopper knots on these 2 cords so that your thread doesn't disappear inside your square knot. Simple overhand knots are fine, just around itself and then through the loop, and you do want to make sure they're sitting nice and even. Then you can cut the ends off just outside the knot and singe them with a flame so they don't fray.